Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. We are coming to you live from the Liminal Pines. My name is Alan. What am I doing? What am I doing in the corner down here? Well, it's been a minute since I've talked to all of you, but since we last spoke, I was hit by a shrink ray. I used to be 6 foot tall. Now I'm about 6 inches tall. And what you're seeing here, what makes it look like that I'm bigger than normal, it's this thing called forced perspective. Everything behind me is actually just I made it really tiny so it could look like I'm a normal sized person. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the stream. I think because it's been a few weeks since we've last spoken, I want to take some time to go over the things that I've been watching. I've watched a few movies. I want to talk about an album that just came out that I've listened to, and I want to talk about where I've been. I've been in jail. No, I haven't been in jail. I went to Universal Studios Orlando, three parks: Islands of Adventure, Universal Studios Hollywood, and Epic Universe. And I want to do a short little tier list of all the rides because I have a lot to say about that, but not too much. Not too much. We don't want to spend too much time talking. Let's go ahead and get into the movies that I have been watching, and then afterwards we'll do some art. You know how it is. We'll do some art after all of it, after all the gapping. So I said that went to Universal Studios, and there's quite a bit of Harry Potter in the Universal Studios catalog. So nostalgia got the best of me. I've been rewatching the Harry Potter movies. The first one that I watched was Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. To you British people, that's Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, because American people don't know what a philosopher is. We aren't well equipped to understand what a philosopher is, so sorcerer will do. I respect this movie a lot for what it is trying to do and what it obviously did. You have this entire cast of characters that would be carrying this movie franchise for effectively the next decade, and they release these pretty much yearly from this point onward, so mad respect to that. Most importantly, though, I think the production of these movies is just stellar. You cannot like Harry Potter for it being Harry Potter, and I would understand and probably even congratulate you. But this movie, it's doing a lot, and it's not a poorly made movie. It is an actually a well produced movie. Uh, and it kind of says, "Can you draw Nom from Cut the Rope?" I did play quite a bit of Cut the Rope when I was younger. Maybe I can't promise you anything. It depends on uh, what I am going to feel like drawing once we get to that point. But we're not there. We're reviewing movies first. I don't mean to burst your bubble. I apologize. But yeah, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. This movie kind of suffers from what I personally just dislike in movies and just stories in general. It's just providing like an origin story from here, and then you get to the interesting stuff. I don't care. This is all personal preference, right? I don't give a damn about Harry Potter. I don't care what he's going through in his little broom cupboard underneath the stairs on 1208 Privet Drive. Uh, that's hyperbole, of course, but you know you see so many quote unquote like origin stories, and it gets a little tiring after a while, you know, especially when you want to get into it. Now I will say this movie does a good job of sort of like sticking to the whimsy that the books have, and I do appreciate it for doing that. That being said, the rest of this movie, it's all right. It's solid. It might be a bit too long. This movie is about 2.5 hours long. Yeah, 2 hours and 32 minutes. It feels like it sometimes. I don't mind a long movie, but it has to earn it. And I don't think this movie maybe needs like 15 minutes trimmed off of it, which doesn't sound like a lot, but I think that that would like seriously help the pacing. But I didn't write Harry Potter. J.K. Rowling wrote Harry Potter, and she has questionable opinions about things, but damn, she knows how to write, so maybe she knew better than I do. But I know they changed a lot for these movies. I did read the books. I read the books. I'm not talking about the books, we're talking about the movies. So Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, yeah, watch it if you like Harry Potter. Well, if you like Harry Potter, okay. And of course, there's a second movie in this series. There's like 8 films, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I have a bit of a soft spot for this movie. This is one of the few movies that I owned on DVD when I was younger, and because of that, we didn't have cable or anything. Well, we had public access television, so I watched a lot of PBS and just movies on DVD. And I have probably seen this movie um, like 100 times. I have probably seen this movie 100 times. I kind of know the entire plot and everything by heart. Is it my favorite movie ever? No. Is it an entertaining watch? Yeah. You have a pretty colorful cast of characters. I love Gilderoy Lockhart in this movie. He's just so fun. I think Snape in this movie has a little bit more room to sort of like be Snape. Is that a good point of analysis? No, that was not a good point of analysis. I guess what I'm trying to say is I like the characters in this movie a little bit more, and that's because we sort of give some time to see these characters be in Hogwarts. I think the entire introduction, the exposition to this movie is great. I think the whole debacle with Dobby, it's fun and it doesn't overstay its welcome. I love the car escape from Harry's room. It's just so ridiculous and it's still like magical. And this is kind of a little bit before the movies start to get really dark. I like seeing those like really fun elements happen in the story. I like how they jump back and forth between sort of the main plot that's going on. It's this mystery that's unraveling who's opened the Chamber of Secrets and school. I feel like there's a bit more focus on the school this go around, like the actual school stuff, not just like learning how to fly a broom. I don't know. These aren't actual criticisms. Just take it with a grain of salt. This is what I'm thinking off the cuff. I like the ending sequence with the basilisk. I think it's all great. I think that this movie is a big step up from the original, and it's one of my higher. If I were to have a tier list, this would be on the higher end of the Harry Potter movies. Not that I love these movies dearly, but I do. I guess I do have to acknowledge that I watched these a lot growing up, and that I can't necessarily separate my own personal experience from that, and that's okay. We have a lot of pieces of media that we have experienced in our formative years, and this just so happens to be one of them. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets gets a big fat thumbs up from me. One of the biggest thumbs up you've ever seen. The next movie I watched was the Super Mario Bros. Movie. I saw this movie once in theaters. I thought it was all right. I tried watching it again when it came to streaming, and I got maybe 30 minutes in before I got kind of angry, so I turned it off. And I watched it again last night, and I pushed through. This movie suffers from similar issues that I have with the first Harry Potter movie, and that it just takes quite a bit too long to get into it. This movie is especially bad for it because Mario doesn't necessarily need a like an origin story. He doesn't need a backstory. Does he come from Brooklyn? Yeah, I guess he does come from Brooklyn. Does he have a family? Yes, he has a family. Does he not like eating mushrooms? No, he does not like eating mushrooms, but he's gotta eat the super mushroom to become Big Mario. That's funny. That's hilarious. I could not have come up with a better joke. Um, and I won't. But yeah, this movie does take quite a bit to. I would say this movie doesn't actually start until they go to Donkey Kong Topia. Can I rank Om Nom? Can I rank Om Nom stars? It's a show about Om Nom. I'm going to. Don't take this. Don't take this the wrong way. Because I do appreciate that you're interacting with me, but from my perspective, that is a very absurd question because I did not. Are there Omnom stories? I did not know that there was a show, and I do not. I've never seen the show, and I'm looking at your I'm looking at your profile picture right now, and it, dare I say, it looks like a little character. That's all I have to say about that. That's very amusing to me for some reason. This movie, the Super Mario Bros. Movie, is the most corporate appeal to nostalgia, shilling for all of your dollars movie that I have ever seen. Is it fun? Occasionally. Is it bad? More than occasionally. This movie does not have the best writing, and there's a lot of it in here that's just like, you remember that, don't you? But like, was a Mario movie ever going to be anything more than that? Can you make a Mario movie that maintains any amount of creative integrity? I don't think so. I really don't think so. So for what this movie is, the animation, it's somewhat decent, a little bit milk toast, but it's not going to be an Across the Spider-Verse shebang. The music is good. The needle drops, god awful. Why is there licensed music in this movie when the Mario franchise already has probably like 20 days worth of fully orchestrated music? And they do use that quite a bit of the time, but they just gotta throw in you just gotta throw in the extra steps. This is a nostalgia bait with extra steps. Yes, it is. And it's like I liked some of the Mario games, but what the fuck does he know about movies? I I I'm not immune to like nostalgia, right? I'm a human being, but I can recognize it. This movie has it in droves. It is not a good movie. Is it fun to watch at some point? Yeah. Is it fun to watch Mario eat a mushroom and become double two times Mario? Yeah, okay, it's fun sometimes. Is it fun to watch him be on a Mario Kart? To drive through Donkey Kong Topia on a Mario Kart? Yes. But I could also just play the games and probably get more enjoyment out of it. The new movie is coming out in like a month. I hate to be that guy. I hate to say it. I'm kind of excited to see it. And I know it's just going to be more of the same, but I'm hoping it's just more of the same, but it doesn't have that 30 minutes of exposition at the beginning. I'm hoping the movie just gets, it's the same length. It's about an hour and a half long. I hope it just gets right into it and cruises. I would love that level of mediocre all the way through, because this movie, it's like it starts like really bad and then it gets mediocre and then it stays mediocre. I just want a movie that's flat. That's just flat as a board, as a board made out of a tree. The wellspring of metaphors and similes is lacking today. The Mario movie. Another piece of media that I have been. I don't want to. No, I don't want to. I don't want to say my full opinions all the way. But Gorillaz came out with a new album. This one is titled "The Mountain." I don't know if I've ever talked about my enjoyment of Gorillaz before. I probably have. I like Gorillaz. First album, not my favorite album, but I enjoy Demon Days. Phenomenal album. I listened to it last week from beginning to end again, and just an amazing string of songs. Plastic Beach. I don't think it's as good as Demon Days. Some people say it's better than Demon Days. I like Plastic Beach. Uh, I think it's a really good album. I don't like it as much as Demon Days. There are other albums sprinkled in there, sort of like EPs and half albums. Not going to talk about those. Their next big album, Humans, I do not like at all. I cannot listen to that album from beginning to end. There's like 3 singles on that album that I can even remotely enjoy, and that's only sometimes. So Humans, I'm gonna be real. That's probably like one of my least favorite albums from Gorillaz. And I'm sorry, because I like the Gorillaz, but liking something so much means that I have to dislike some of it. You can't like all of it. Their next album was The Now Now, which is one of my favorite albums of all time. So we went from Humans to the Now Now, and phenomenal. One has every single song in that album is just perfect to me, and it has the best highs and lows and crescendos and troughs of any album that I've ever listened to. Maybe that's exaggerating a little, but I really like the Now Now. Song Machine Volume 1, and then another amazing album. I think people kind of forgot about Song Machine Volume 1. I have not. I listened to that album quite a bit. I think it has some amazing tracks on it, and some really underrated tracks on there. We have to rank Planet of the Apes. Yes. Wait, I actually could rank the Planet of the Apes, the new ones at the very least. I haven't seen any of the old ones. Wait, hold up. We're talking about the Gorillaz right now, not the Apes Gorillaz, the Gorillaz. Cracker Island is their next album, and I think Cracker Album is an average album. I think it has some really good songs. I think it has some very bad songs, and I think it has more just somewhat okay songs. Whatever. And that leads us to The Mountain. And where would I rank The Mountain alongside the rest of the Gorillaz catalog? I'd probably put it, for my own personal enjoyment, I would rank it similar to Cracker Island. So some really good songs, some songs that I don't really care about, and for the most part, it's just kind of eh. And that sucks, because I really, 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 really wanted to like this album, but it just did not give me everything that I thought it would. It has some really great instrumentation, lots of Indian influence. Don't know any of the instruments, so I'm not going to talk about any of the instruments, but the opening track has everything that you need to know about this album. If you want to know what the vibe of the album is, listen to that. But they don't really maintain that all the way through. They do in some places, but I was expecting more. It has a very good song on it, The Manifesto, which I do think is like a perfect song, and that's what I mean. Like, this album has really good songs. I think The Manifesto is a really good song. So if you're gonna listen to anything from this album, I highly recommend The Manifesto. The rest of it, though, I think The Manifesto hits this adrenaline. It hits this amazing high that's just like super catchy, super energetic, and I don't think it hits that ever again for the entire album. And that's such a shame, because I wanted more of that, but this album is more on the slow, cerebral, contemplative side. And I get it and I understand it, but it's just not for me, not in this context. So The Mountain, I would give it like a 6 or a 7, which isn't bad. Five to me is average. Anything that's above a 5, that's praise. Just for my own enjoyment, I just wasn't really feeling it. But that's okay. I don't have to like everything. Not everything is made for me. You heard it here first. We're going to be ranking rides at the Universal Studios parks. I'm not going to be looking at an ad. Let me make sure you guys can see everything here. We're gonna go in order of everything that's here. You're not gonna be able to see a little bit of these things to the left. There's quite a few rides, so I'll try to get through these as quickly as possible. The Despicable Me ride, Minion Mayhem, unenjoyable. You just sit in front of a screen and your chairs move a little bit, and this is made for babies. This is a plant. Not a plant, but this is a ride that was made for babies. It's can you even call it a ride? No, I don't think you can call it a ride. Villain Con is the second Despicable Me ride in Universal Studios Hollywood. This is probably the worst ride that I have ever ridden in my entire life. It's not even a ride. You stand on a moving conveyor belt, and they give you a gun, and you play a little arcade game on these screens, and your gun isn't even calibrated. So where you're aiming on the screen, you're not actually aiming. Very, very disappointing. This ride consistently had a 5-minute wait for good reason. Because it was awful. Because it was just downright awful. What is this ride? I can't even tell what this ride is. The Transformers ride, I didn't ride it, so I don't have any opinions on it. I genuinely cannot tell what this ride is. What is that? I don't think I rode that. The Mummy. The Mummy is so incredibly fun. It goes backwards. That's at one point. There's lots of flame effects, and I just like The Mummy. I like Brendan Fraser. Hello, Smiling Rants. Are you sad that Smiling Friends is ending? That's just a cold open. Based off of your profile picture of Pim and your and your username. Sad news for us silly people. Silly people are experiencing the worst of the worst today. I don't know. Okay, I'm trying to see these rides right here. The Fast and the Furious ride, I did not ride. Though I hear that this is probably one of the worst rides on the planet. But I didn't ride it, so I cannot put it in my lowest tier. Yeah, very sad. I understand where Zach and Michael are coming from when they say they don't want the show to go on for too long for it to be like beating the proverbial dead horse. That being said, one more season would have been nice, right? I don't think they were reaching levels of sort of predictability and staleness. Pim is always going to be your Shayla, though. Pim's the GOAT. I'm really hoping that we get more specials. I know we're getting the 2 extra episodes, but I'm hoping we get some more specials in the future because I do love Smiling Friends quite a bit. The E.T. ride. This movie, E.T. as a movie is all right, but I would rate the E.T. ride as just pretty good. I think the pre-show is a little bit better than the ride itself when you're walking through the line, because you go into this fake forest. The line is in part of a fake forest that's made to look like it's kind of like a movie set, and it's very cool. It's actually like, it's very cool. The ride itself is fun. You're on these like little bikes and you fly over the city, and then you go to E.T.'s alien planet, and it's an old ride. You can tell it's an old ride. It has some whimsy. It has some charm for that. We say it's all right. YouTube hasn't noted. No, Lizard Wizard. You have not missed a lot. Once in a blue moon, we have a fanatic of a joke. We're gonna keep that pace. We're moving at a snail's pace. I have nothing else to say about that. No, you did not. You did not miss a lot. We're just finishing up the sort of the speaking about pre-shows. We're just missing up the pre-show, or we're not missing. We're just finishing. It's been a long day. Okay, we are finishing up the pre-show by ranking rides at Universal Studios, and then we'll start drawing. The Simpsons ride, kind of unenjoyable. I was expecting more from this ride. I couldn't even see what was happening on the screen 80% of the time on the bottom of the screen because our car was like angled a little bit too far up. So it's kind of disappointing. I liked the pre-show. I liked the line to this one quite a bit, but the ride itself, it was just kind of unenjoyable. Oh, this is the Jimmy Fallon ride. This one's okay. This one is like if the Despicable Me ride was better. If it's just better. I really like the line to this one because you're like in a sort of a New York skyscraper. It's like you're walking on to the Jimmy Fallon talk show, and I just played Alan Wake 2, and a lot of that game takes place in a version of New York City. And so the entire time I was walking through the Jimmy Fallon ride, I was like, oh my god, I'm like Alan Wake. It's like I'm in a video game right now. And the Jimmy Fallon ride, yeah. The Simpson ride is just all right. The Jimmy Fallon ride is a little bit better than all right. It's got charm. I thought the screen, it's one of those where you sit in front of the screen and the chair moves, but it's done pretty well. And I think they sprinkle water on you at some point. A lot of these rides do that, actually. Here's The Simpsons. It's called like the Kang Krang Spinner. I didn't ride it because I'm an adult and I don't ride baby rides. I ride rides for adults like the Despicable Me ride and the Jimmy Fallon ride. The Men in Black Alien Attack ride, this one was okay. You're moving through on a dark ride and you have a gun, and you shoot aliens, you rack up points. It was fun. It was a longer ride, so I think that increased my enjoyment of it a little bit because we spent some more time like in the ride, if that makes sense. Universal Epic Universal in Orlando. What did you type? What did you what did you type every buzzword for Epic Universe on there? Because yes, none of them have popped up yet. I did go to Epic Universe, but they just haven't popped up on here yet. So I will give my thoughts on those. Is there not a ride for everything? ATP? By ATP, did you mean ATM at the moment or at the park? Is ATP, is that short for at the park? There should be a ride for everything, I think. I was thinking while I was here what it would be like if there was a sort of a video game park where more video game IP had their own rides, and I think that would be a fun idea. I was imagining in my mind similar to the Mummy ride, like an Uncharted ride. I think that would be, at this point, I should have got at this point. I've been on the internet since I've been like 8. How did I not know that? I think I think I am probably like the least technologically developed human being in my age bracket, and it's not even close. Because, well, no, it's like I'm the most ironically developed, technologically inept person in my age bracket because I can work a computer, I can work a phone. Like, I'm not bad, but I'm also like so technologically illiterate. Not to the point where I'm giving away my personal credentials online, but I come close. Imagine a cat's eye roller coaster. What's cat's eye? If you don't mind me asking. Catsup? Ketchup? A ketchup roller coaster. What if? Here's the Escape from Gringotts ride. I would put this one pretty good, or more than pretty good. It's a very good ride. It's like half roller coaster, half dark ride, and it doesn't have any crazy drops, or it doesn't really get crazy fast at any point, but it was pretty fun to ride. I would say the line to this one is very good, and I think the narrative, it's just the second to last movie, Deathly Hallows Part One, where they hear me out, escape from Gringotts. Cat's Eye is very popular. Is it now? I've never heard of it. Actually, I've never heard of Cat's Eye, so it must have escaped my sphere, my sphere of recognition. Is the Jurassic World ride at Universal Studios Hollywood in the list? I don't think this is the Hollywood list. I think this is just the Orlando park. So no, I don't think it is going to be included on here. There's the Velocicoaster. The Velocicoaster is on here. Wait, we're going to do the Velocicoaster while I'm here. I didn't write it. The line was too long. It was like 3 hours long. And I didn't want to wait 3 hours in line for a roller coaster. But I hear it's a really good roller coaster for what that's worth. We'll kick it up to the front. This is the best ride that I didn't ride. Cat's Eye, you want a Blackpink or a Stray Kids roller coaster? Okay, interesting. It's a global girl group. Oh, like music. Oh wait, that's actually, oh, imagine like a concert where you're strapped into a 4D chair and you're given the glasses, and you have the group or the singular artist standing up on stage, and they're like getting their thing on, you know what I mean? They're going crazy up on the stage, and then you move along with them like you're dancing with them, and it's 2.5 hours of that, but you get to sit, which you don't get to do at normal concerts. So this is a lot better. So many people are obsessed with it. I'm gonna talk about obsession. I don't need another thing to get obsessed with. I don't know why the Hogwarts Express is Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. Wait, that one's on here. I know it's on here. I'm assuming that's this one right here because it's the Hogwarts Castle. We'll put that one at the very top as well. Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. I would say it's just as good as The Escape from Gringotts. I probably wrote it 4 separate times. I like all the animatronics on this ride. It's a good proper dark ride. I think the screens on this one are amazing because they envelop your seat, so you don't see outside of the screen at any point. And I know it's a screen, but it does a very good job of convincing you that it's not a screen. I think it's done very well. There's a Harry Potter ride too. Oh boy, there's like 100 Harry Potter rides. There's more Harry Potter rides in this park than I have socks in my sock drawer at the moment. And I don't have, I need to do my laundry. That's what I'm trying to get at. Just make a flying swing based off my cat at this point. Like, damn, if you wanna write a letter to Universal, I'm sure they'd be happy to oblige. Drop like 400 million to make a ride based on your cat. It would be better than the Despicable Me VillainCon ride. Like, genuinely, I think a ride based on your cat would be leagues better. Not leagues. This ride should be exploded. Don't report me for saying that. But this ride needs to go. It's not even a ride. You just stand. I do that at home for free. The Hogwarts Express is on here twice. One of them must be the King's Cross, and one of them must be the Hogsmeade train. I'm going to put them both at unenjoyable because it's literally just a way to get from one park to the other. You don't even get to see outside of the train. It's a screen. And you're just sitting there, and then you're sitting across from a group of people you don't know, and you're making eye contact with each other. Like, I don't know you guys. You're not dressed like Harry Potter. So the immersion is broken, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Make it Tearford perfect. That's kind of what these rides are. This is my perfect tier. It was initially like S A blah blah blah, but I renamed them. Everything, consider everything at the top tier is my perfect tier. Make it bite and kick like he does. That would be so good if they made a ride that bit you and kicked you. Would you have to sign a waiver beforehand? You would have to, right? What would be the biting and kicking? Would it be? It would be the employees, the team members dressed up as your cat, and they have permission to bite and kick you. What if? What if? Flight of the Hippogriff? Okay. The line for this one is way too long for how short and boring of a roller coaster this is. This line is consistently like 2 hours long, and the ride isn't even that good. This isn't even a really good roller coaster. I'm not saying it's bad. If I waited 10 minutes in line for this, I'd say it's okay, but the line for this one is always pretty long. It's like baby's first roller coaster. Maybe name it Nevermind. These are better. But that's what that's what it, I can't see my camera's in the way. It doesn't get, you don't like, it doesn't get better than this. Does that not convey perfection to you? Ugh. I really, I cannot tell what this ride is. I really can't tell. So we'll come back to that one, and I might have to get my reading glasses on. I don't have reading glasses. I might have to get my reading glasses on and look closer. I believe this is the Hulk roller coaster. I did ride this one. This ride is pretty good. It goes really fast, and it does a lot of it goes really fast, and it does a lot of loops, and it made me scared, and it made me happy, and I waited an hour in line for it. It's pretty good. It's a good roller coaster. I've ridden a lot of roller coasters. This one is pretty up there in terms of thrill. If you're a thrill seeker, maybe name perfect here. Never mind. These are better. Do you really want me to rename it that? Okay. Is that good? Because pretty good, I guess, does convey some level of perfection. So we have to say, like, wait, we pulled a fast one on you. There's actually ones better than this. I cannot tell what the hell is this ride. What is this ride? I really cannot tell what that ride is. I can't tell what this ride is. I can't tell what this ride is. Is this one of the Harry Potter ones? Oh, is this the Hagrid's motorbike? I didn't ride this one. If you want to talk about the ride for a Velocicoaster being hours long, this one was always hours long. But I hear it's good. And much like the Mummy, it has a moment where you go backwards, and I hear it's done very well in this ride. But even when we got to the park early, the line for this one was still incredibly long, and I just was not wanting to ride that. Storm Force, this is like a little teacup ride. Didn't ride it. The Drop Towers, the Doctor Doom Drop Towers, didn't ride it. The line was too long, sorry. The Spider-Man ride is a very good ride. I was actually very impressed with this, and it's one of the older rides at the park. I like the line going through. I feel like you have to consider the line for these rides, because some of the lines for good rides can be pretty boring, and some of the bad rides can have good lines. It just depends. It just depends. This ride right here, the barges, I did ride this. We got soaked. Unenjoyable. And there's signs going all the way up that say you're gonna get wet, you're gonna get wet, you're gonna get wet. What they neglected to consider when making those signs is that I can't read. So I didn't read any of that, saying that you were going to get soaked from head to toe, and everything that you own or ever will own will also be soaked with water. It would be a fun ride if I was prepared for it. I was not prepared for it. That's my bad, though. I'm so stupid. I'm so stupid. Thank goodness though, because after we rode that ride, this other one, this is like a luge ride. We were like, we're not riding that because we saw people going down it and they were getting drenched, and we were like, wait. We used context clues to understand that we would also get wet if we rode this ride. And an in between for A and S should be very good, but not good. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. We've already started the tier list. I would love to oblige you, but I would have to rework a lot of these things. In your own little headcanon, you can have that. You can pretend like I had that tier here, but I can't. I'd have to rework so much of this. Maybe next time. Maybe next time. What ride is this? This is the King Kong ride. It was okay. I hear it's like the Fast and the Furious ride, but with more movement. The King Kong animatronic at the very end was actually pretty cool. It was massive. So I liked that. Here's what I think this is like a pterodactyl ride for the Jurassic Park world. Didn't ride it because I'm not a baby. I'm not a little baby. I'm actually a big boy. This is also, I believe, the Jurassic Park water ride. I did not ride that because it was closed. It was not open for me to ride, which is a shame because I've ridden it in the past, but I'm not basing it off of. I'm basing it off of my most recent visit, which was the other week. The Cat in the Hat ride. This is the one where you go up above the park and you go in a little circle. It's like the Yoshi ride at Epic Universe, but for Cat in the Hat. Didn't ride it. We were going to ride it, but we ended up not riding it. Speaking of the Cat in the Hat ride, this one was unenjoyable. This is a ride that's old, and you can tell that it's old because none of the audio in this ride is mixed well, and it's not timed well either. There's a fish. The fish talks to you during the entire ride. Could not understand a damn thing that fish was saying. It was really, really bad. And it would be layered on top of several other noises, so it was all incomprehensible, and it was just a wall of noise. Very good, but not that good. It is like high A to low S. That's like the minutia of that is like pretty. That's very nuanced, don't you think? I feel as if A in my case is the okay tier. I would consider that my A, and I would consider this my S. This would be my in between, right? Unless this would be my A and this would be my B. But I feel like we have a pretty good distinction here of good ride. Okay means good, you know, and perfect ride. I would say like this, like falls in that category, right? Right. One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. It's okay. This is one of the first rides we rode when we went to the park. It spins you up. The best thing to do with this ride is to go to use the controls to go to the highest setting and just stay up there, because you get a view of everything and you get the thrill of being very high in the air. We remove F tier. We remove F tier. Our F tier is unenjoyable, and this is like worst of the worst, right? And didn't ride. That's just in there, so we can't really judge it. This one right here is, I can't tell what that is. This is a carousel of some sorts. What carousel is that? I don't know what carousel that is. I don't remember there being another carousel. Oh, unless this is... This might be the Troller Coaster. We just shrink it. How about you go live right now and you do a tier list, and we'll hop over to your stream and we'll watch you do your own tier list. I don't mean that in a mean way. It's called banter. We're joking. The carousel at Epic Universe unenjoyable. It's a carousel. I honestly cannot imagine the last time that I've ridden a carousel that I actually enjoyed. It's a carousel. I don't know what to say. It's a carousel. Whatever. Stardust Racers didn't ride because the ride was closed for maintenance, and it is still closed for maintenance. It was supposed to open after like 2 or 3 days, but they kept it closed, and it is still closed. Shame. Hiccup's Wing Gliders. Hiccup's Wing Gliders is what the Flight of the Hippogriff wanted to be. This is a genuinely really fun roller coaster. It's not the level of thrill of the whole roller coaster, but it's fun. It's very, very, very fun. It has a moment where you go backwards, of course. It reaches pretty decent speeds. It does this thing where it sort of nudges you back and forth like you're gliding or flying, and it's very smooth and just the right amount of baby for a baby roller coaster. This other How to Train Your Dragon ride, this one you fly around on little dragons and you get wet. Did not ride it because I didn't want to get wet. Where's the E&D tier? What, brother, what tiers? How many tiers do you do in a tier list? How many tiers do you do in a tier list? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, N, P. I'm putting this one in P tier, guys. Sorry, we're putting this one in K tier. And it's just one ride per tier. Where's the E and D tier? What am I crazy? What's the E and I've never heard of the E and D tier. This is another water ride for the How to Train Your Dragon. The reason we didn't ride a lot of the rides that are in right here are either because the lines were too long or they're baby rides. There's a lot of baby rides. And for a lot of these, the rest of these here, we rode them multiple times, which is how we spent our time. Because if we rode each of these once, there wouldn't have been enough. We had like 5 days at the parks. There wouldn't have been enough time between all of these to like fill up that amount of time, but we rerode quite a bit of them, which is how I would want it. Mario Kart. The Mario Kart ride. I want to put this in perfect, but I don't think it's perfect. I think the ride itself is just okay, but I think it has a really good line. You're going through like Bowser's Castle and there's a lot of stuff to read and it's very cute. So I'm gonna put this one in pretty good. And it also gets a bump up from okay because it incorporates VR, or I guess AR, augmented reality, because you can technically see through the visor it gives you. It's pretty unique and I haven't seen anything like it before. But I like Mario, so we're putting it there. Sorry for being wait, in an account. Wait, can we add another one? How do we add another one? Presentation mode. Can I not add another one on here? Create a meme. I think I can add. I'm not clicking that. I'm not clicking the save or download button. Additional images. It's be included in your download. Wait. Wait. Okay. Oh wait, no. Oh, I'm so stupid. I can screenshot. Remember I was talking about being like technologically inept? It took me way too long to figure out I can screenshot. This was my initial thing. Wait, let's rake me first. We're gonna go with okay. I'm in okay. You and I can't, you can't tell that that's you, but you can see the end of your username right there. We're also gonna put you at okay, but we'll put you a little bit. We'll put you after me because I'm the one doing the stream, so I'm a slightly better, I think. Here's the Yoshi ride. This one is also just okay. It's like the Cat in the Hat ride, but you're going around the Mario world, like the Nintendo world, and the Nintendo world looks very cool. So this gives you a chance to sort of see everything from the top uninterrupted by people all around you. For that reason, this ride, it's cool because it just lets you look at things. Donkey Kong and the minecart of madness is pretty good. I didn't love it because it was kind of short, but it's a unique ride. It has sort of like a false track thing going on where you have like a fake track that makes it look like you're jumping from track to track, but in reality, the actual track is below that track. The theming on this one is fun, and the music is fun. The line is not the best line ever, but it's a decent enough ride, right? Curse of the Werewolf didn't ride it because it was broken down constantly, and I just never got the chance to get around to it. Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry. I would put this one up with the other Harry Potter rides. I think the line to this ride is done very well, like very well. It's so cool. The architecture is cool. It's like you're in the Ministry of Magic. There's a Floo network thing that they do. Overall, very fun. And I think the ride, people have like dogged on the ride for like being like, I don't even know what people don't like about it. Maybe people thought it was boring. They do this cool thing where it looks like you're in like one of the magic elevators and the screen is moving really fast to make it look like you're going up and down. I like that. I thought it was really cool. I think this is the Troller Coaster. If this is the Troller Coaster, okay, if this is the Troller Coaster, I'll put it in okay. It was like the if the Hippogriff ride was even more for babies, but even more, it was more for babies. But it wasn't unenjoyable. It was just okay. Monsters Unchained. Such a good dark ride. I rode this one 10 times. It's a lot of fun. And the line was really short every time because this ride just eats people consistently. Bam, bam, bam. You do not wait in line very long for this ride, and it's great because it's such a good ride. You want to get off and you want to ride it again instantly. It has some of the best animatronics that I've ever seen in an entire ride. Is this a universal tier list? Yes, it's a universal tier list. I'm sorry that you missed like all of it. you were able to catch the tail end of. Maybe you can help me figure out what the hell these rides. You should be an F tier or worse. And I count. Well, okay, since you want to demote yourself, we'll put you after the Yoshi ride. So I'm better than the Yoshi ride, and you're just slightly worse than the Yoshi ride. Is that okay? Is that fine? Very cool. It's very cool. I mean, I really cannot tell what the hell these rides are, though. Like, what is this? What ride is this? I'm struggling to figure out what ride this could be because I did not ride it. And I don't know what this ride is. Can I... Oh no, that's the Troller Coaster. What? This is the Troller Coaster. Wait, we're putting this one. We gotta put this one back. I can see it a little bit better now. Where did I put the Troller Coaster? In okay? Okay, this is like a carousel of some sorts. We're putting that in didn't ride. I did not ride that. I did not ride whatever that carousel is. What the hell is this ride? What can we... Jarvis, can we zoom in on that? That is not a ride that exists. I hate to be a contrarian. That is not a ride that exists. I have never seen this. Ever. We're putting it didn't ride. I don't even think anybody has ridden that. I did not see that roller coaster at all. So what's the time looking like? We're an hour into the stream and we haven't done any art whatsoever. That's huge. Thank you everybody who's watched up until this point. The stream name is drawing and chatting. We're just chatting. We don't draw here. We don't draw here. We don't draw. This is one of those anti-art streams. I tricked you into thinking that we would be doing art, but in reality, we do tier lists about theme park rides. But yeah, these are my S tiers. These are my A tiers. These are my B/C tiers. These are my didn't rides, and it looks like a lot. It really wasn't a lot, because a lot of these rides are either water rides, baby rides, or rides just don't exist. This doesn't exist. Let's paint an entire canvas of chats. an entire canvas. Let me get my handy dandy paintbrush out. And then this ride sucks. This is the worst thing that I've ever ridden. I'd put the Dr. Seuss ride down here, but that would be a disservice to the Dr. Seuss ride. Okay. Oh my, holy moly. What did I just do? I don't know what I just did. Let's... Hello, I'm big again. I found my anti-shrink ray. I found my grow ray. And I made myself grow. Let's go ahead and let me close out my Google tab here. Okay. And let's get this camera pointed down so we can see some sketchbooks. I guess before I get done, Lizard Wizard, I don't know if you're still watching Lizard Wizard, but earlier in the Discord you were talking about how you wanted to see the setup and what we got going on here. So I'm gonna give you a little. Don't look at me. So this is what we got going on right here, and that's me as viewed from the back, and that's my head. So this is the setup that I have going on right now. I just got this like little desk thing today to keep my monitor up. So here's my monitor right here, and here's my boom arm that I use for here's my little boom arm that I use for doing, I guess I should probably turn the blur off, right? Here's the boom arm I use as like an overhead thing. And it's just connected to the edge of my desk right there. It has a little light that it came with. And so what I do in order to get the overhead view that you're about to see is I literally just I hook it on the edge of the desk, bring it forward, point this down, and I connect my phone to it, and that allows us to see what's going on right here. This is my desk, and here's everything that whenever I finish any of those like artworks that you see on my shorts, they go up here for the meantime. And this is to the right of my desk. Here's a Kiltro poster. That's a band I really like. And here's other framed pieces of art. So yeah, wait, I could make it so much easier for you guys to see. Here's my bookshelf. That's a Lego set right there. Here's like comics and like mainly just comics I want to pick up and read or look at the art for. I have Moby Dick right there, and then I have other art focused books Down there I have all of my sketchbooks. Then I have a bunch of just like pens and stuff right there. I need to organize my desk a little bit better. This is my stream, like this is just like headphones or whatever. But yeah, this is the setup that we have going right here. Let's go ahead and move us so we can have an unobstructed view of our sketchbook. And I don't have a level. I talked about this in the Discord. I don't have a level for my desk. It's just I kind of just eyeball it, and I use sort of the grid on the desk mat here to try and get it somewhat close. Like that's good enough, right? Oh. Wait. I left my sketchbook downstairs. I will be right back. I am going to go and grab my sketchbook. This is so embarrassing. I'm back. Sorry. You think I'd be a better streamer and like actually plan what it is I'm going to be doing, but I'm not. I would apologize, but I'm not actually sorry. Here's the sketchbook today. Let's go ahead and give you a peek at what it is we do here at the Liminal Pines. The sketchbook is rather big too, so I need to lift the camera out quite a bit for you to see everything. Here's a page. So this entire sketchbook is dedicated to sort of doing concept art / vibes for In Circles. Let's start drawing, man. Paint like all the chat asked for. Let's start with Omnom. You really want to, I don't even remember what Omnom looks like. I know I could look up a reference image. You really want to see Omnom. Here's more sort of nature. We got rocks, we got trees. I'm trying to figure out like, what's the word? Well, I know the word, like a visual language, but I'm trying to figure out sort of like the art style that I want to hone in for this story, and I'm wanting to keep it like I don't want it to be like photorealistic. Like I want to embrace the pros of working with a pen. This character is the Bounty. I still don't have a name for this character. I really cannot think of a name for this character, but he is from Harris's past. It's actually his old partner who he thought he killed in order to save Ulysses. And how is he back? How did he survive? Is he actually alive? Is he a real person, or is he just a manifestation of the circle? I don't know. That's a little mystery that we got going on. It's like, can we trust our senses of what's going on? Here we have Harris. I wanted to sort of do like a full body shot of him. The Seekers carry these little spears, these sort of black spears. Why don't they use guns instead? Because guns are expensive, in this world, and they're kind of unreliable when you get into the circle because, you know, funny business happens whenever you start getting physics involved. So it's a bit safer to just use something like a spear instead of a gun. So that's kind of my rationale for why these characters aren't using firearms. We're vibes. We get vibes. We have trees, and we have fjords, and we have rocks, and we have plains. I like nature, and I like drawing a lot of nature. But you already know that. Here we have just more of the same, really. We have. I like drawing rocks. I like drawing square rocks. I like it when rocks are like naturally square. I think that's a lot of fun. This one right here is from Princess Mononoke, and it's from Ashitaka's village, and I sort of took that and rendered it with the composition and everything, but I sort of like added my own textures to all of it. So that's why this one looks a little bit more put together than the others. This one it's fun. I was playing around with sort of like the negative space. Excuse me, it seems a panic alarm on a car is going off outside. Let's see if it's my car. Okay, it wasn't. I don't know whose it was. Psychos breaking in the cars. I had reasons to get copyrighted like Sonic to the book. Well, Sonic Team is generally pretty okay with people using Sonic as a character, as long as it isn't like super insane, right? So you probably could use Sonic to some degree and like be all right with it. Maybe not if you're like making money out of it, right? But if you're doing like a fan game, they're more than often okay with it. This one I did for a short on the channel. You can go and watch that if you want to see me make that. I don't think I've shown you guys this page yet. This is one of the locations for the story. Takes place in a school. And this is using just a little elementary school as a reference, and sort of playing around with just like a setting, I guess, like a vibe. Remember, this is a vibes based thing. And yeah, that's kind of one of the things that I like struggle with a lot is drawing stairs. So I think I'm gonna make it a point in the sketchbook to draw more stairs more often. And then after that, my goal will be to place characters walking on stairs, which is tough, but something I need to challenge myself to do, because if I don't, then I won't be able to draw well. So I need to challenge myself a bit more. Henceforth, why we're drawing stairs right here. This image right here. This is all from the noggin. Actually, I'm lying. I looked up a photograph of a stapler from a lower view to see what a stapler looked like, because I couldn't remember like what a stapler looked like. But everything else on here, the table and everything, that it's very simple, but I'm proud of it. I'm proud that I put a rectangle down on the page and I drew it. Here I sort of mashed two different reference images. One was just somebody doing this pose, and the other one was like the inside of this elevator. And so I sort of I photobashed them in my mind, and I put them down on the page, and that's the result of that. This is just a wolf. Yuli sees a vision of two wolves at around the climax of the story. So I need to draw more wolves so I can execute that a little bit better, because this isn't the best thing that I've ever drawn. A hallway. Initially it was just like a regular hallway, but I went ahead and like added more texture to the walls and stuff, and I drew these like arrows. The idea was that somebody was like walking by with like blood on their hands, sort of like painting on the wall these like arrows, being like, go this way, go this way. Does that have anything to do with the story? Not really, but like it's creepy, so that's why it's in there. And then we have, this is the most recent page. I didn't know exactly what to draw, so I was like, I'm gonna draw Ulysses a little bit. And I'm still trying to like figure out like what Ulysses looks like. And I'm drawing him from like a bunch of like weird angles, which probably isn't the smartest thing to do when I'm trying to figure out what the character looks like. But I don't know. I like to challenge myself with drawing like the head from weird different angles because I don't want to get like same face syndrome, which I might have to some degree, but what I really don't want is same head position syndrome. That would be worse, I think. Like that would be like leagues worse because I could be drawing all these like different characters that look different, but their heads are all pointing the same way. We don't want that. We want dynamicism. We want things to look dynamic. Let's go ahead and set the timer for 25 minutes. And let's draw a little. So I didn't really think about like what it is I wanted to draw on this page, but I think I might just continue drawing Ulysses, right? Because I feel like that fits within the theme of this page here. But I'm not gonna have any reference images up because say it with me. I want to challenge myself. I want to like challenge myself to draw from imagination. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna see. I have an issue with the Loomis method. I hate starting with the ball because it doesn't take into mind that little bit that's gonna be below the ball, right? Like I feel like I prefer starting with more the like an oval. That way I know where the top of my head is gonna be, and I know where the chin is gonna be. You don't really get that with the ball, so it's kind of hard to plan out sort of where everything is going to be connecting. So of course we'll like flatten everything out. So I need to like figure out, it's like, does Ulysses have like small and skinny eyebrows, or does he have like big eyebrows? I feel like with Harris, his eyebrows are like a bit thicker, so like I feel like uh you really want me to draw Omnom. I'm sorry. I don't. I'm so sorry. Is there like can I ask where your obsession with Omnom comes from? Are you just like a like an Omnom enjoyer? Is that like your favorite character? Is that your comfort character? Because if so, I understand. I get it. I don't know if Yuli has like, does he have like like It's hard to tell. Does he have like soft eyes or does he have like despondent eyes? What kind of eyes does he have? Because it's like I don't want to go to like anime inspired. I do like my anime inspiration, but I don't want that to be all of it. There's a cut the rope fan base. Do you understand now? This is like an app game from like 15 years ago. I was not aware that there was that cut the rope had a vocal fan base. I apologize, I did not know that. Okay, well, it's like the thing with these characters, these seekers, is that the the underneath of their little uniform, it's a little turtleneck. The only reason I wanted it to be a turtleneck, I think it breaks up sort of like the neckline a little bit, and I just like turtlenecks. So yeah, that's the reason why we have turtlenecks there. Not everything has to have the most well thought out reason. So like, I'm not quite sure how I want his hairline to be either. I feel like having it sort of like come down like that is a little bit more like natural. And he has a little bun. Is it like a high bun or a low bun? I imagine it's like a high bun. Because he doesn't have incredibly long hair, so he's not able to put it down all the way, but he is able to like put it up like up here, you know. Fujimoto, author of Chainsaw Man, does this thing with his noses where he sort of like puts like three lines there. I like that. Is it something I want to keep on incorporating? I don't know, maybe for like certain angles or like certain characters, but like and see like the thing is with like at this point in the story, Yuli is like a bit younger. So it's like I want to I think by the Ed Evil Punch, who is a parody of One Punch Man but evil. Oh, you mean Evil Punch Man? Big Punch Evil? John Evil? Big Punch? He's actually my favorite character. I'm actually stealing your character, and I'm gonna make a story based off of said characters. So no, you will not be receiving any of the rights. And thank you for the free money, basically. I'm not gonna spend too much time rendering his hair. I feel like I've like had such like an issue with like rendering, like deciding like how I should like render hair, especially with characters who have like dark and long hair, because he doesn't have a lot that like swoops around, right? So it's kind of hard to figure out. I'm gonna shrink his chin a little bit. And I'm gonna widen his neck a little. You're welcome. Maybe Evil Punch Man could appear chapter 111. One Punch Man, we have a problem. What is it? Evil Punch Man is here. Ooh, Evil Punch Man has a sidekick. So kind of like Saitama has Genos, who's like kind of like a sidekick, but not really. Uh, Evil Punch Man has Doctor Punch. And no, I will not elaborate on what I mean by that. I saw this thing where the artist Dave Mazzucchelli, who did like Batman Year One and Daredevil Born Again, he used a filed down pen nib. He was using a dip pen. I'm using a fountain pen, obviously, but he used a filed down pen nib to get sort of these thick lines that didn't taper very much, and he referred to it as a dumb line, meaning that he wasn't able to get a super fine amount of detail. So you'll see, especially in Batman Year One, he sort of implies a lot with very few lines. And I found it very interesting because he's such an amazing artist, and yet he's able to work with a handicap essentially and still produce like really good art. So I think that's like very uh I think that's like a very like, interesting way to do things, but it's also like it proves that like you can work within the constraints of your tools. In your story, Evil Punch Man exists, who's a parody and not a moneymaker. Yeah, he makes money. You know, he does make money, uh, but Doctor Punch is the real moneymaker. He's the he's the quote unquote brains of the operation, but he also receives most of the income from um, Evil Punch Man. His name is John Punch, is his actual name. Excuse me. What day is today? Is today the 6th? Today's the 6th, right? Or is it the 5th? What day is it? It's the 6th. In the year's 2026, y'all. Mhm. One thing I don't like about the sketchbook so far is because it's so thick. The first pages don't lay very flat, so where the separation happens with the page here, it causes a bit of a bend in it. So it's hard to write on this innermost part of the page. Makes it a little annoying. And someone has to be baldy nose hair. Yeah, that's John Punch's father. Baldy nose hair. In this hypothetical scenario we've created where John Punch, Evil Punch Man, ruler of the universe, is making money with Doctor Punch by fighting One Punch Man and filming it and putting it uh, on Daily Motion. John Punch actually makes PragerU videos. PragerU. You know what I mean. How was my Disney trip? It was good. It was a Universal trip. Not to be I'm not trying to be like actually, but we went to Universal and not Disney. We want to go to Disney at some point. I think it would be a lot of fun. But we just hit up the Universal parks because I'm gonna be real. I'm not the biggest fan of like a ton of like Disney properties, so I think I had like more fun doing the Disney parks. Or oh, God, God damn it, doing the Universal parks. Sorry, it's Jiznep, not Disney. It's a when I was growing up, I always thought that D was a G. I'm sure a lot of you did as well. Uh, no, it was a lot of fun. If you go back earlier in the stream, I did a tier list of all the rides that we rode, so you get to see all of those close up and personal. All of my raw, unfiltered opinions. Yeah, it was a lot of fun though. I really liked the Super Nintendo World. I thought that was great. I'm gonna do this isn't gonna be this is more like an exercise in like figure drawing, and it's not even gonna like be like a character as viewed from the front, but I am just gonna draw it here. You were wondering about the tier chats were about. Yeah, Evil Punch Man is just a stick man. No, he's a straw man. He's a straw man who is used in hypotheticals to prove people wrong. Can I just say that good lord, drawing people in perspective is so hard. I would like to be the first to say that there is no reason that drawing people in perspective should be so hard, but it is. Oh my god, why does it have to have so many steps? Why do all have to all the shapes have to be so weird? I hate it. I actually hate it. The parody of One Punch Man has more story than the book itself. Yes. Yes, you're incredibly right. Uh, it's actually called what's the word? It's called being in the oven. You ever made cookies before? Drawing hands is also rough. I'm gonna put clothes on this guy. I think he's had a little bit too much time to be to have no clothes on. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put clothes on him. Go ahead and I know Seekers have like this like hood thing. They do wear like a hood. So I was initially gonna have just like a big massive collar uh that would sort of always be on it, but I felt it better because they have uh since they have like this poncho cape thing going on, that there would just be a hood on there. Yeah. So you're putting him in the story. Are we talking about Doctor Punch, or what are we talking about at this point? I am actually curious. I feel like we've fallen into like a few different loops of I don't even know what at this point. See, the issue with what I got going on here is I have no idea what a poncho would look like, or what how this fabric would drape on someone if they were going from this like angle. Part of me thinks that it would actually like drape forward a little bit like that. Maybe because this arm is brought out a bit. Maybe this is like pulled out a bit more. Especially from the back, it's more. You're talking about Evil Punch Man. Yes, we're putting Evil Punch Man into in circles. Yes, Evil Punch Man is actually a very integral part of in circles. Look at that. We managed to cover up all that amazing anatomy with just a big old cloak. Proud of that. Would it look kind of like that? Would a draping cloth look like that? My timer's about to go off, but let's finish this drawing and then we'll call it an end of stream. That's what I'm missing in here. I think I'm missing like waves at the bottom of this. You know, like bits where the fabric sort of like it's up a little bit. That hand is chopped. We all know it. And then here's something fun we can do. We can go ahead and we can take all that. And then, because I feel like, for one, I feel like the silhouette is doing more like work here. We can go ahead and we can black out a lot of the draping fabric here. Really focus on the silhouette. This is one thing that I really want to do whenever I'm drawing like these silhouettes in most environments, is I want the sort of the outlines of these to do the talking. So there's not going to be a lot of complexity in like rendering like fabric. And I don't think there needs to be. I feel like part of why I like the poncho idea is because it helps to create a more interesting silhouette than just like the human figure. Like obviously it is still the human figure, but I feel like it's like the human figure but a bit more, because you still get the shoulders and then you get sort of like boxiness, you get triangulation. He should love pines for no reason. Yeah. I feel like, are you like vaguely making fun of me? Is that like what the goal is here? I actually am confused. 'Cause I don't mind if you're gonna be making fun of me, but I'd rather you do it just uh like bluntly instead of through like guy's metaphor. I could take it. If you want to like just uh like make fun of me directly, I don't think I would be very offended by it. Is it because I didn't draw the cut the rope guy, who actually has a very big fan base? If you haven't heard, there are many cut the rope fans out there, underrepresented in my opinion. You wasn't angry. You were just taking notes from your channel name. Let's see. Go ahead, why grass here? Everyone's always like standing in grass, right? Why add a rock or two? We like rocks. Why is he holding his hand out? Is there a story? Is there a lore reason to why he's holding his hand out? Yes, there is. He's Mr. Mysterio, and he loves holding his hand out. All right. Oh, by the way, I did get a new pen here. This is a Lamy Safari. Duh. It is actually, let me pop over here. This is also Lamy Safari. This is a fine nib. I think I'm going to switch in between both of these. But this is a fine nib, and this is a broad nib. So this is capable of getting thicker lines. I'll compare it to, it's like these ones right here. This is using just like the fine nib for the Lamy Safari, and I just got a broad nib. Well, I just wanted the yellow pen, but I was just like, okay, might as well, since I'm getting a new pen, I might as well experiment with like a thicker nib. So I was like, okay, I'll try out a broad nib. So far, I am liking it. It's a bit to get used to, just because of like the line thickness, which that was a given, right? That was always going to be the case. But so far, I'm liking it. I'm not noticing too much of like a difference in like it's just slightly thicker, which like isn't a bad thing. I'm trying to think of like, I feel like the best way to incorporate the broad nib is like, I think the broad nib is good for like doing like close-up faces, so like things like this, maybe sort of like mid shots like this, but I feel like the finer nib is better for like doing further, like working further away when the detail doesn't need to be too crazy, which I'm gonna mess around with that a little bit more as I work more on the sketchbook. Really just like trying to like figure out like what tools do I need to use and when, because I don't want to be stuck on a page or a panel in the future and be like, I don't know what to do. So I want to try and plan for that. Happening. So when I reach that point, I'm like, oh, what do I do? I'll be like, oh, I can use this pen for this specific purpose. Okay, I think we're gonna call it there. I think we're gonna call it there. I'm getting a little. I want a diet root beer, is what I'm trying to say. I really, really, really want a diet root beer. So I'm gonna pop camera up here and flip it around a little bit. Ugh, why is that camera so close to me? Ah. Ugh, why is the camera so close to me? That's gross. Hello? Whoa. Okay. We'll blur that a bit so you don't have to see the messy room behind me. Thank you everybody for watching this stream. If you like what you saw here, there are a lot of other streams that you can go back and watch. If you like my sweet and sultry voice and want to hear me reading from a script, I have a couple of video essays on my channel. Go ahead and join the Discord if you want to talk with other artists, or if you want to ask questions, or you want to show off your art. I'll remember to put that as a link in the video description to this stream. We will catch you, when will we catch you? Maybe next week, maybe the week after. I'm not going to say that I want to stream more frequently, but I need to get a flow going again. I think next stream we might I think we're gonna hop in between doing like environments and like drawing characters, and then environments in characters, environments in characters. And I think that's the flow that I want to do with the streams, because while I like drawing both, sometimes like I need to like mix it up a little bit. What will my next video essay be about? It's still the plan is still the false realities video, and I shared the link to the doc for that one in the Discord a while back. I can send it again if you can't find it in there in the announcements tab. The idea is still to do the false realities video. I'm gonna be honest. I've been very like preoccupied with life here recently. So I finished the last Guardian video, and I wanted to like do the next video right after that, but it's like, as much as I love this channel, and I love drawing, and I love writing, and I love making these videos, even though I don't make a ton of videos, I do like making the videos. It's like, you know how it is. Life outside of your hobbies can sometimes like put a damper on like doing those hobbies. And I think my trade-off is that here recently I've gotten really good about drawing more frequently, but I've gotten really bad about writing the YouTube stuff. So the next YouTube video essay, still, I plan on it being the false realities video. I keep telling myself that I want to get started on the script here very soon. I can't guarantee that that will actually happen, but I definitely want to finish it before like the first half of the year is over with. So keep an eye on that. I will definitely let you know when I start like actually writing that video. If you'd be interested, if anybody would be interested, I can do a stream, like a writing stream. I know I did that for my Last of Us video, but I'd be more than willing to like do a script writing stream, so you can see the writing process, especially like the writing process starting from the like beginning, because I really only have the outline to that video done. And even then, I still think I want to go through and edit that outline and maybe switch a few things around, maybe change a few things. That's something you'd be interested in. Let me know. But yeah, that's all I've got for you tonight. I hope everybody has a good night. Hope you get a good night's rest. I hope you're staying hydrated, and I hope that you are being kind, not only to others, but to yourself. Good night, everybody.